Okay, we got cut off. I hope you're back here. Um, Facebook is having issues this morning of helping us connect. So let's see if people are able to find us again. Okay, sorry. Facebook had a glitch there and cut off our video. So let's go back to talking about feeding our spirit. So we do the best we can. We create a mantra that says, hey, I'm doing the best I can today. I'm going to feed myself, mind, body, and spirit, and I'm going to evaluate what happened today and look at what I can do differently tomorrow. And the next thing to do is, if you make a mistake, and I've certainly made plenty of them, is to forgive yourself for being human, and embrace that fact that you are human, that you can make a mistake, that you can look at those mistakes and say, okay, I learned from that. And that continues to feed our spirit, because the important thing is that we keep moving forward and that we acknowledge that we're always in a state of learning, and that's a positive thing. And it keeps us from really making the mistake of thinking that we're not good enough. So I know when I've made mistakes in my life that it sometimes has stopped me from moving forward. I get caught up in looking back and regretting things, and it's tough. And we need to stop and learn what we need to learn to not make the same mistake again. So we've had an issue here this morning with Facebook Live. We started out with Coffee and Cosmos, went a few minutes, and the video disappeared. So we're restarted Coffee and Cosmos with Robin here. Kind of a mixed up day here with Facebook. But we're talking about feeding our spirit and what we need to do to keep ourselves moving forward in a healthy way in our lives. And learning to love ourselves is an important thing. And that really sounds like, oh my gosh, that's so new agey. It's so hippie-ish. But the reality is, I think we don't love ourselves enough in the fact that we simply look at ourselves and say, okay, I made a mistake today. What do I do to change that? Do I apologize to the people if I got mad at someone? Do I apologize to myself for saying, okay, I maybe could have done this differently, and I'm going to look at doing it differently when another situation comes up. Hi, thanks for tuning in, Teresa and Judy. And we lost the other people when the video kicked out. But I have a way of looking at things that has it looking at things that happen and figuring out what worked and what didn't work, or if I'm looking forward at an issue, looking at what it takes to feed my spirit and the spirit of my animal family. So a couple of weeks ago, my dog had to have surgery for a fractured tooth, and it was a pretty big tooth and it needed a specialist. And I was feeling all these things. I was feeling guilty because I given him something that he fractured his tooth on, thinking it was a good chew, and it wasn't. And I just let myself feel everything that I was feeling. I was feeling guilty. I was feeling like I let him down. I was feeling like, oh my gosh, how are we going to be able to afford this? What does he need? How do I reassure him about what's going to happen? And somebody said to me, wow, you're just like all over the place on that. And I was like, the answer to that was, there's a way to feed our spirit by going through and looking at all of the things that are involved in a situation and literally stating what they were. I felt guilty because I gave him a chew that he shouldn't have had. And then letting that go and saying, okay, we're going to learn from that. We're going to move forward. I'm going to work extra hard at making this work. And then acknowledging that we're not always perfect, we make mistakes, and how do we go about making sure that we continue to grow through that? And that's a process of feeding our spirit. So it means that you give yourself the benefit of the doubt, you weigh all your options, you believe that you're good, And the truth is, most people are good. Most people really want to be good and are good, and they take whatever opportunity they have to be that way. Um, a few weeks ago, I was at our farmer's market and I dropped my wallet, and coins flew everywhere, and credit cards and pieces of paper. The next thing I knew, two men were down on the ground, scooping everything up and handing them back to me. They didn't have to do that, but they did. Why? Because people are innately good. We really work hard at being good, and the attention goes to those who aren't. So look at things that happen in your life. Look at how we continue to feed our spirit through good times and bad times, figuring out what worked and what didn't work, and trying to be better next time, and then appreciating when we've done the best that we could in that situation. Always remember to bring your spiritual team into a decision. When I was looking at my dog, Ollie, and his dental surgery, I brought in his spiritual team to look at his teeth with me. And then I brought in a healer spiritual team, veterinary spirit guides, literally, they exist, and had them look at the situation with me. You can do the same thing. Ask your spiritual team and the spiritual team of family members to step in and give advice to support you, to help create that positive energy around you that helps you make a good decision. And work at staying grounded and balanced. And I use sea salt and crystals. You can use positive things, like I started to say in that first video where we got cut off here this morning, which is, I'm good. I'm doing the best I can today. I'm feeding mind, body, and spirit. And I'm going to have a great day. And at the end of the day, reviewing that. What worked today? What didn't work? When I was overtired, was I cranky? How did I work in any different situation? How can I make it better? And how can I continue to be on this role of having things work really well all the time? People say nothing is, that things are meant to be, or that's the way it's meant to be, or that's the purpose of things. And none of that is true. Nothing is meant to be. Everything is an opportunity for learning and growing. So go out and have those experiences. Allow yourself to feed your soul. You're the only one that can feed your soul and your spirit. And keep at it, because you matter. Every single one of us matters. In growing our soul and our bodies, and then growing and expanding beyond that into our families and community. So, Teresa, I see you came back on. Thanks. Corrine, you're asking, how can I find my soul's path and desire? That's what we're all looking for, Corrine, right? We're looking for what our soul path is. What do we want? One very practical way of looking at that is literally to take a journal, and I don't like to use the word journal lightly because people spend a lot of time just venting into a journal, but even a notebook, the pros and cons. What are the things that you like? What are the things that make your heart go pitter-patter? What are the things that just bring you great joy? I mean, one of the things that I really enjoy, especially this time of year, is spending an hour in the evening sitting on my deck surrounded by the plants that I put in pots around my deck is my garden space, and just really enjoying that time being in nature. And those are the things that help you. So when you're finding your soul's path, our soul's path is first and foremost, and I learned this the hard way, is learning to love ourselves. And that's what feeding your spirit is going to do for you. It's going to help you learn to love yourself, to accept yourself through the good times and the hard times, to go, okay, I made a mistake and I'm going to try to change the way I did that the next time. And know that life is a process of growing through the good times and the hard times, and to keep moving forward. It's hard sometimes. We get depressed. We get run over by that random train that we didn't see coming. And that's called life. But when you're looking forward and feeding your spirit and finding where your soul's path is, that first and most important thing is learning self-love. I learned this actually by working with the dead, the stuck dead who haven't made it to the other side because they didn't learn to love themselves. and realized that the reason I was working with them at my dad's request, and my dad died in 1994, June 30th, 1994, so coming up on his anniversary, was that most of us don't love ourselves. So Careen, your soul's path is first and foremost a way to love yourself through thick and thin, through good times and bad times, through the indifferent times, through the days when we just struggle to get through the day because we're busy, we're overworked, we've got too many things going on, but all of them need to get done in order to get to the next day. So take a breather, find a way to spend a few minutes in the morning and at night pulling that love back into yourself, hands on your heart, loving yourself. And then from there, from that filled up place is where we spill out and let that love go out and fill up the world around us, starting with our family and our friends and our neighbors and going into our cities. We don't grow by living in isolation. We can't. We're social creatures. So I hope that helps today. Hello from Wisconsin. Cecile, how we perceive and view people is actually what we experience. Right, you can see goodness everywhere. We have this emphasis on the bad things that happen in the world, and there are plenty of those. But also, if you regularly watch or read the news, you'll also find really great stories about people who just reached out and helped other people. Because we're part of a community, and our community is literally the world and all the beings in it. So go for a walk today. I don't know where it is. It's 11, almost 11:20 in the morning here in Seattle on Monday. But I know in other parts of the world where some of you are, it's evening. And go for a walk. Appreciate the world around you and look at it and go, okay, how can I be more a part of the world? Whatever works for you. I enjoy walking by the ocean with my dog and breathing in that salty air. It all works. So crystal of the week, which we do each week, is I picked rose quartz again. And here is rose quartz. Because I think a lot of what we're doing in terms of feeding our soul is learning to love ourselves regardless of our goof ups. And I am top of the line goof up. I make mistakes all the time. And I learn from most of them. And maybe I don't learn from all of them, but hey, it's called being human, right? But the self-love that rose quartz supports is this softer, gentler energy that is full of compassion and kindness. And we need to offer that first to ourselves. Be compassionate, be kind to ourselves. Be supportive of ourselves when we goof up. And gentle and be content and learn what contentment gives and allow us to receive love as well as give it. And receive love from ourselves, which is self-love, and carrying that back out into the world. We are part of the world, and so we do need to come out from this place where it's all about us to what we can offer to the world. And really, I think you'll notice if you take yourself on a walk today or in the next few days and think about how you're feeding your spirit, what you're really doing in addition is allowing that love and healthy energy of feeding your spirit flow out into the world around you, and it makes the world a better place. So I want to end today by thanking you for joining us, and also by urging you to really go out and pull back in. And every time you make a mistake, or every time you feel depressed or worried or upset, remember that life isn't easy, but it's always worthwhile. And we can make a difference in our own lives and the lives of others by constantly reminding ourselves that we are souls having experience in a human body, and it can be fun, it can be hard, but it's all working towards us learning and growing in our families and in our communities. I'd appreciate it if you like these broadcasts to like the Humanity Healing and the Om Times page and my business page, The Practical Intuitive, Robin M. Fritz. If you would like to work with me, I offer personal and business intuition, mediumship, animal communication, space clearing, past life and between life regression, soul progression clearing, and crystal energy healing. It's all to help you help yourself be the best that you can be. It's a tough world out there, but we're here. All of us are here together, making it better, helping our conscious planet to grow and be healthy. And we all have a role to play in that. And join me on my radio show the first and third Mondays of the month at omtimes.com radio, The Practical Intuitive, Mind, Body, Spirit for the Real World. My next show is next week, and we'll be talking about crystals. So for today, healthy energy, keep feeding your spirit. This is a simple exercise you can do whenever you feel like you just need a boost. Put your hands on your heart, take a deep breath, breathe in all healthy, positive energy. Feel your body fill with that energy, just like you felt Fallon's energy at the beginning. Well, at the beginning of the first broadcast that got cut off and disappeared on Facebook here. And just remember that you are worthy. The world needs you, each and every one of you. And this is a community where you can come together and share each week. So come back next week. Hopefully Facebook will keep us up. And let me know if I can help you. But go out there and be who you are. Feed your spirit in the ways that work with you and share it. Let us know on the Humanity Healing page or on my Facebook page, The Practical Intuitive, what you've done to feed your spirit and how that felt to you. So thank you again for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Take care.